Sports Video Group is coming to you from the exhibit hall of the 2018 SVG Summit. Brandon Costa from Sports Video Group here with you. Have the pleasure now to be joined by Pat Sullivan from Game Creek Video. Pat, a good friend of SVG. Pat, always great to see you. How's everything going?
It's great to be with you.
Good, really appreciate it. You were on a panel earlier today on Tuesday talking about the state of the mobile and remote production industry as one of the big players in this space. When you assess where this industry is at right now with all different kinds of new workflows trying to fight their way into the mix, how do you feel about the state of the remote production industry currently as it stands?
Well, I think the industry is in good shape. There's a lot of content that needs to go somewhere. I find it interesting, for example, the OTT discussion today and people talking about streaming and the need for the streaming folks to actually have a really high quality image, which is what we do. We produce those, and so I think there's so much demand for content, and then there's so much demand for distributing that content in different ways right now. I think that bodes well for the industry.
Great. Well, looking back at 2018, what do you feel were some of the highlights for you and your team? New truck builds, big projects that you worked on. When you look back at 2018, what stands out to you?
Well, I think there are a number of different things. Obviously, the participating in some of the big events that we did, the NBA Finals, and then the World Series, which of course our Boston Red Sox were victorious. Was a great moment. We launched our Truck 79, which is doing the college football championship in a couple weeks for ESPN, and we continue to grow the company and continue to attract really great young men and women to come and work in our company.
I know that's been one of the topics that that this group here at SVG has wanted to address, is that generation of young talent coming up, being aware of the opportunities in your side of the industry, finding people who have that engineering background that maybe is also kind of software-based, IP-focused. How do you feel that has come along? You seem to be finding very talented people to come and work for you. Is that still something that needs to be worked on, though, like making you in a general awareness of this side of the industry and the opportunities that are there?
Well, we actually developed an apprentice program, which now young men and women from literally from all over the country, from various universities, Alabama, Texas A&M, a lot of places where they have really significant, very robust scoreboard operations and video operations in their own right. And we're attracting young men and women who want to have a career in the business, and unlike when they're working in college, they'll get paid for it. So we've been very fortunate in attracting people. It's quite competitive if you apply to the Game Creek program, and we've had some really terrific young men and women come through and ultimately end up working at Game Creek.
That's all right. That's great to hear. One of the topics that you guys addressed on your session is obviously the continuing rise and implementation of at-home production workflows at various facilities, networks, leagues, teams, whatever it may be. Obviously, as someone who primarily builds trucks, how have you guys approached that side of the business to make it something that you can be supportive of and not have it be necessarily a direct threat to the business?
Well, we have to support what our customers want to do.
Okay.
I mean, that's really what it boils down to. It's a model that they want to employ right at the moment. I personally question the real savings that they might be able to release, but that's a determination that they have to make. Mm-hmm. In the meantime, we have to support what our customers want, and we're not just going to throw up our hands and say we're going to give up that business.
Right,
so we're going to do it. We're going to support what our customers want. But on the other hand, they're still asking us to produce very high-end, very sophisticated, very complex devices, systems that can do these major events, and that costs money. And so that's where the partnership between ourselves and our customers comes into play, and they understand that we have to have a sustainable model as well as they do.
Great. All right. Well, lastly, before we let you go, 2019, any big things on the horizon or goals that you have for next year? What can we look forward to?
Well, we start off the year with a bang. We've got the Orange Bowl and the Cotton Bowl, and the 2 play-in bowls for the Bowl Championship game, which is in Santa Clara this year. Then we move on and participate in part of the Super Bowl coverage for CBS. Then, of course, we roll into our it will be now our 14th year of doing the Daytona 500, which is always a large-scale event. And then we get into college basketball playoffs, the Final Four. And then, of course, we get into the NBA and NHL playoffs as well.
Great.
So it's a great time of year.
Well, we always appreciate you making time for us here at the Summit. Great to see you as always.
Always great to be with you, Brandon.
All right, for more coverage of everything from the SVG Summit, you can even check out videos from the panel that Pat was on earlier today. All of that is available now over at sportsvideo.org.